Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this NXT review and opinions video. I found this to be a little bit of a strange show in the sense of I didn't find myself getting bored. I don't think there was lots of great moments here though. I kind of feel like a lot of the matches were just good. They were fine. I don't think they ever really got above that, apart from our main event that people enjoyed. As Axiom matches go, I would say this is probably one of their weaker ones, but it was still really good, and it still got into the great range from you guys. Obviously, we got the big ending with Bayley and Roxanne, and I feel like this show needed that, because outside of that big ending, there wasn't tons here. But I was engaged. They kept me on board. I didn't find it boring. Let's go down the match scores, and then we'll obviously try and figure out a score for the show. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I forgot. We did get DIY, so that was good. The Ethan Page stuff is probably the most captivating stuff he's been a part of since he's been in NXT, in my opinion. I think that what they're doing with him is really good at the moment. So him and Dante, Chen, and then the whole Javon thing, that was good. I like Lash and Jakara winning. Obviously, they now get an opportunity at Bianca and Naomi, so that feels big. Bayley, obviously, against Roxanne, if that's where we're going, that's going to be big. Axiom against DIY, feels like we're heading towards that match. That's going to be big. Shotzi getting past Stephanie, that was interesting, unexpected. But Shotzi against Fallon, that should be fun. But to be honest, I was hoping Stephanie was going to win. I don't have anything against Shotzi, but just a bit more on board with Stephanie, a bit more intrigued by Stephanie, but I thought they put on a decent match, Stephanie and Shotzi. But again, let's go down this, and I'm trying to work out some sort of score in my head, right? So Stephanie Shotzi, you lot said was good, 97%. There was just a few moments where it just felt a little clunky. But they were doing some really technical stuff, actually. Lots of really interesting reversals. So it was quite high-level stuff. It was quite, interesting, intricate stuff. So for it to be a little bit off, you can sort of forgive. But you lot said it was good 97. Ethan against Dante. You guys weren't massively feeling this, but then it was very short. It was good 88%. Then we had Lash and Jakara against Albert and Isla. That was good 98, so that was your favourite match up until that point. Kelani against Cora, that also was good 98%. But without a shadow of a doubt, your favourite match, by quite a distance actually, was OTM against Axiom. Great 57. So not a high great rating, quite a low great rating actually, but even so, easily your match of the night. Altogether, I'm thinking this is probably a 6.5, somewhere around that ballpark. I feel like the Bayley thing pushes up the score quite a bit. This thing probably would have been a 6, maybe a 5.75, but I'm thinking a 6.5, solid, fine, acceptable. A couple of talking points in there, but, you know, not the most exciting episode of NXT we're ever going to see. So I'm thinking around that kind of ballpark, right? Now, I saw we had 30 comments, and I feel like if we get a move on, we could probably get through all 30, right? So that's going to be our goal. So TJF 1983 said it's the best thing Shotzi wins. She deserves gold. I hope she goes all the way to gold. Your commentary is better than that Harlem Heat fool. I want to see Ethan break Roman next. The talk of women calling you daddy. Funny. 3 out of 10 said TJF. TJF, shout out to you, buds. The current community champion. Can he keep that championship? We'll find out during the member stream on Thursday. Wrestling's biggest fan said this has been a consistently great show for a while. Vic, Booker, Sean, Ava should get a ton of praise. Phantom67 said NXT was good, 6.6. Not much more to say, as I have had a few too many drinks. Good night. Good night, my friend. Samantha said I miss Corey on it, but overall it was okay, and great to see Bayley. I was surprised, actually, that the Corey situation didn't hang over a little more. You know, I kind of felt like we was going to talk about Corey. Probably we didn't really talk about him not being there, but then we did do 2 hours before the show started, and I think we got all that Corey conversation out of us, right? So by the time the show started, we were just straight into it. To be honest with you, I didn't really notice Corey not being there because he's never really there. He was only there last week. And I think the whole Corey conversation, we definitely had boxed it off. So thankfully, not a distraction for me. Not a distraction. I was able to just watch and enjoy NXT for what it was. So shame to hear that it was something that was playing on your mind, though, Samantha. Bia said, wasn't the best, but the tag match was very good. Carl said it took 20 minutes for commentary to come on. That's true. We didn't get commentary in the UK. And actually, I've noticed this a few times. There's been a few times with even Raw and SmackDown where there'll be shots of like the outside where the commentators are doing a voiceover and we don't get the voiceover. And I've said a few times during the streams, like, oh, where's commentary gone? Like, are they forgot to talk or something? And then people in the chat are like, what you on about? I've got commentary. And so I don't quite know if we're talking about the same exact moment, but like this was a prime example of where us here in the UK did not have commentary for the first part of the show, but you lot in America or Canada, wherever, you did get it. So I am starting to think there's some difference between like the US feed and the international feed, and that we're missing out on certain voiceovers and certain commentary. And yeah, it's very interesting. You are right. 20 minutes without commentary. Then we got complete and utter BS. The Stephanie screw job. So I turned it off. Stephanie won the number 1 contender fatal 4-way match. She should be the number 1 contender. But now they've made her have another match and she got screwed. I'm going to catch up on the good bits and skip the ads and poop later if I can be bothered. You should always bother to poop. You don't want to store that up, but it's really not good for your bowels. So, Carl, I wish you all the best. Johnny said, stream was so much fun tonight, 10 out of 10. NXT, 6. The ending was the best part, with Roxy standing tall over a blooded Bayley, yelling and demanding to be called mommy. It looks like Roxanne is going to cost Bayley her match on SmackDown, setting up a feud for WrestleMania. Oh, do you think they'll go that far? Do you think they'll do a feud at Mania? I didn't even really think about a feud at Mania. I just thought they might build to a match somewhere. Don't know. That's really interesting. I wasn't thinking that big, but I don't know. I am now. Robin said the first 20 minutes of commentary were Ober's a beast. The Steph match was good, except for another ref count botch. Oh, I missed that, I think. Was it a 3? It just popped into my head. 1, 2... And it was really, really close. I thought it was like a 2.9. I'd have to watch it back, though. Perhaps it was a 3. Amazing table spot from Nathan Frazer, yes. Bayley surprise. That's my favourite dessert. A Bayley surprise. I wish Graves all the best. I think he's a good commentator who deserves better if it's not a work, yes. Dean said NXT was okay. I like the ending with Bayley and Roxanne. I think Bayley Roxanne will cook if we can get it. Can't wait for the new women's NXT champ, Julia, next week. Good stream. See you Friday. See you Friday, buds. Jazz said, bitten this week, 7 out of 10. The only really exciting bit was Bayley and Roxanne. I really thought Perez was having a face turn and that Bayley was saying you deserve the main roster. However, I think she's going to cost Bayley on SmackDown, which brings her to the main roster for a feud with Bayley. Anime Nerd said some WWE fans online are hating on tonight's episode of NXT, which is unnecessary. With that being said, I will score it an 8.8. Wrestling fan since day one says, hi, Dad. I've never seen this child before, so... Cool. Right, Ben Bailey said, don't think it was a great show, but I did like Roxanne and Bayley segment. Would like to see that match at Saturday night's main events. Brian says, best part of NXT. Brian, shout out to you. It looks like Brian has made a graphic. So, you've made a graphic that's got, Julia. And, that's my reaction that I put up. So you've took that and you've created a graphic with it. Oh, right. So you was... Oh, okay. I see now. So you was bored of NXT. So you got bored of NXT. And so you went off and you created a graphic instead. Brian, thank you, my friends. That's actually really good. That's like the kind of thing that you could see actually being on the show, isn't it? That's actually really impressive. So, Brian, shout out to you, my friends. Uncle Revel said, was a pretty good story progression episode. Matches were good. Bayley was a fun surprise. I do like a Bayley fun surprise. That's one of my other favourite desserts. 7 out of 10, daddies. Blue Will Smith said, overall, this week's NXT episode show, I give it a rank B-. LWC said, pretty good show. Guess we know who will cost Bayley her title shot or eliminate her from the Royal Rumble. Sam said, I really did not like watching the backstage segment with Stephanie alongside a picture-in-picture. Do you know what? I don't think we got that. I don't think we got it. Someone tagged me in it and asked me, like, did you get the sound? I think it was Manuel, actually, that asked, did you get the sound? Because we didn't get the sound. And I'm like, I didn't even see this footage. Because when we go to commercial break, we don't get picture-in-picture. We get that slow-mo footage of like the wrestlers in a ring just sort of like turn into the camera, and at the bottom it says we'll be back soon. We just keep getting that, so we didn't even get the footage of her running around trying to find Fallon Henley. Wrestling Nails and NY said, what's my opinion? Her opinion is,
it doesn't even matter.
It does matter. It does matter. I want to know what your opinion is. Look, you've left me looking like Andre Chase now, all sad in the background. Yeah, he's doing good stuff at the moment. They got some good creative for him, haven't they? They've kind of turned the dial up on the sadistic side of him. David said, I hated that Stephanie lost. Kale, bruh. I follow you now. It didn't feel right without Corey. Matthew said the TNA NXT partnership continues as I see that Slamovich will face Cora Jade for the TNA Knockouts Championship at Saturday night's main event. The promo between Bayley and Roxanne should be extended on the CW, and I would not be surprised if Roxanne and Bayley are 1 and 2 at the Royal Rumble. Brendan said Oberfemi versus Moose. Mackenzie said 10 out of 10, amazing show, brilliant matches, and a surprise Bayley return. What's more, I can say, terrible kiss. Yeah. Chris said, hello, Daze. Hello, Chris. Fun watch. I'm going to go 7 out of 10. Until the end, I felt a little dirty. Because I really am liking All Ego's character now that it's turned up to 10. I'm hoping we get a build-up to Rox Bayley. Maybe getting the match at Vengeance Day coming up. Good night. Good night, my friends. Opulus Travel said, honestly, Daddy Daze... It was your fault as well, Opulus Travels. You was the one in asking everyone to call you Daddy in the chat. So Daddy Opulus Travels says, I thought NXT was great. Building ego Ethan Page to be a truly dangerous heel, showcasing how great NXT's women's division is, and also the tag division. I feel there is something missing though. Not too sure. My ranking would be 8.5, not 4.3. I was trolling. Thank you, Daddy. Kian said, I thought NXT was all right. With the matches having Lexis versus Charlie is getting a bit boring now. I just wish they could move away from that feud. Disappointed that there was no Lola on NXT tonight. Segments were... But the main event really teased Bayley is either going to Raw or NXT. I don't think she's going to go NXT. If she goes NXT, then they've really not got anything for Bayley. So I don't think she's going to go to NXT, but I don't know what they're doing with that feud. 7 Days a Week said the show was so strange. No commentary in the beginning. Matches were all just a bit, The Fraxium match was good, but it's Fraxium, so no surprises. The ending with Roxanne and Bayley was random. And by the way, where was Corey? Didn't he tweet he had something to say? News came out that he had been removed from the show. 4 out of 10, says 7 Days a Week. John Elite said, why did Stephanie win last week only to lose tonight? Awesome seeing Masha tonight in the crowds. Didn't expect DIY and Bayley tonight. Roxanne screws Bayley on Friday, question mark. She could. Stephanie made the fatal error of being a babyface that did a stupid babyface thing of accepting the challenge of Shotzi, which is stupid. You know, she won a number one contenders, and then Shotzi came up and said, well, I've just pinned the champion, so I'm the real number one contenders. And then they agreed to a match, which I agree is stupid, but Stephanie has, you know, got to blame herself for agreeing. She could have stood her ground and gone, no, I've literally just won a number one contenders, do one. But she didn't. She agreed to the match, and then she got screwed. So I do understand why people are angry. I do understand why people are disappointed and upset. I do get it. But she could have stood her ground and went, I've literally just won the number one contenders match. Like, if I beat her, I'll face you next. Yeah? She could have done that. It could have been resolved that way. She could have said, how about I'll have the match, and if I win, I'll face you next. And if I lose, I'm sure Fallon will face you next. But we didn't do that. Instead, we did this match, and Stephanie got screwed. Gigi's Thorned Rose said Bayley was a disappointing appearance. Oh, my God. Do you think so? You think she was disappointing? Oh, my God. Kirby said, I can't wait for Friday. It's Friday, coming on down on Friday. Partying. Slamex, shout out to you. Joe Gacy teasing Friday. Crispy Wrestling said HBK talking to Roxanne in the background. Roxanne call up soon. I can feel it this time. Wyatt OG said they're here. So there is some excitement about them going to SmackDown. This is good. Getting a bit excited about the fact that they're on their way to SmackDown. This is good. It's better to be positive about it than down about it. But anyway, that is not NXT related. This is, though, if we have a look at the scores. Let's have a look at the scores. Why can't we look at the scores? There we go. So I was late in asking this question and getting this poll up. What did you think? So far, we've had 14 votes. Oh, 30 votes now. Let's go. That's better. But even so, good, okay, 73%. It looks pretty unanimous that is going to end up winning. So it looks like this was not a well-received show. Only 3% said it was bad, though. It looks like people are kind of around that good, okay range. But yeah, great, all-time, not quite. I definitely think that Bayley Roxanne did some lifting, because without that, you know, this could have been even worse. I think we would have seen more bad, because it was quite a big ending to the show. So, yeah, good, okay. I said about 6.5. I feel like I'm very much in line with the community on this one. So, thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.